these trucks, we keep them on the road. It's what we do. It's what we try to do. Welcome. They're setting up the meeting. It's redirecting.
Aaron is live.
We're live.
Yep, we are live.
We're going to minimize. Need to pop my chat. Butch Tanner, the first guy. What is going on, bud? Welcome, everybody. What it do? What it do? Thanks for being patient. I was running a little behind this evening. Had domestic duties, and you know, the grounds had to be tended to. Let's get where'd it go? Oh, there it is. Having these windows, man. I like this pop out chat though. What is going on, everybody? So glad everybody is taking time out of their evening to hang out with us. OTA, something we haven't talked about often. I don't know if you guys are familiar with OTA, but we are slowly. Greg Broskies, Skidoo, what up? Penny. It's something that we're gonna have to start dealing with all these newer vehicles, and unfortunately, we're gonna have no way around it for the time being. But nonetheless, we're going to talk about that, what that means to us, how we're going to deal with that with owner operation of these Super Duties, and how that is going to be for even diagnosing. It's going to be crazy. Got a couple of emails we're going to go over. A gentleman has asked that let's go over and check it out. Not this one. He has asked us to talk about a refill procedure for coolant on a 6.7. Now, we've gone over those things in the maintenance video, but if you guys want to, chime in with your guys's things that you guys have done, I guess. Let me pop this thing. I'll get this out the way. Get back to my black background. There we go. Dave Penny here, over here in the comments. A-Rod, best year, F-250 diesel. To buy, your opinion, need a new plow truck. Dave Penny, if you're listening, what do you want? You want a new or you want old? Do you want pre-2010 or do you want after 2010? I guess skipping 2008 and 2010. So if you took that block and went this way or that way, which way are you talking about? You want brand new? Not brand new, but like 20,000 miles used? What do you want to do? What's the green name mean? The green name means that they are channel subscribers, not subscribers, members, and they, if you click on the join button under the channel heading, there's a few tiers that you guys can choose from, and check it out. Make sure to hit that thumbs up and open book. Well, I would David Howell, welcome. If you're gonna get one, if you're gonna get a used one, find a good, I'd say 16 and up, 15 and up. If you're gonna buy new, I mean, I haven't had really that many problems, you have to think first, the amount of new ones that are out there, okay? And then all of the issues, and I say all of the issues that you see on Facebook and forums that people are talking about are a very, 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 very small percentage. So don't let that influence your decision. These new ones are really nice. They're quiet. They ride well. There's a lot of things you can do with Forscan and FDRS to customize it to you. Austin Bros, thank you, my man here, following directions. Diagon is first, not first, but coming through. Diagon is first truck. I appreciate it. Keeping the flow going. Got to get the flow. Nobody knows it's not 22 yet.
I mean, 22s are going to be the same as 21s.
Yeah, they're going to be the same for the most part.
23, that
programming
might be different.
Yeah, 23 is going to be different. 22 to 21, programming is going to be different. But yeah, so definitely get a 6.7, 100%. If you get new, I would get a premium care, and there's going to be 2 stipulations with that and being commercial. So I would probably better to email me and we can talk further into that. But definitely get a 6.7. And if you're going to get used, obviously if you try to find one that's been taken care of, if you've gotten or can get maintenance records, that would be obviously the best. But that's not always the case. Swing it by me if you're close. We can go for a little ride, check it out, see if it's going to be worth something to invest in for your endeavors. But yeah, definitely get a 6.7, 100%. And if you're going to get new, get the extended service plan. Mr. Hugh, what is up, my man? Hope you're doing well. D-Max Junkie, that is correct. People are driving 22s, but I still have yet to be in one. Why is that? I don't know. My coworker is waiting, like still, you guys have heard me talk about still, he's waiting on his 22 King Ranch. If you're out there listening, Uncle Bobby B, I know you're chomping at the bit. Brother, I have just a minute to say, you're the effing best, and my Super Duty stays running. It's the best because of your great videos. I appreciate that, bud. There's been a couple of guys that have been commenting, saying, their issue with their truck particularly was with a 11 through 16 20 BA, the def heater sender. He referenced that video and said he saved a bunch of money doing it himself. So that was definitely a good to hear. I've heard the sunroofs are garbage in the Super D. Can you confirm? No, but yes, if you don't use it. And you can refer to DS Trucks. He's the other guy. He should be coming on here, hopefully. He actually has a video where he talks about lubricating the twin panel Vista roof and where you put that lubricant in to help the rubber seals and the track and everything moving. What happens is when that stuff starts binding up, then you get the panels will be uneven, something will bind, and now you got something wrong with the motor or the shade. It's just a real cumbersome deal because these guys who want the nice trucks and have the light colored interiors, well, for the technicians who are not mindful of how dirty they are or don't take care with interiors, you're going to be all over this dude's seats, A-pillars, headliner, fingerprints everywhere. So it's really, either roll your sleeves up if you're, a long sleeve dude, or take your uniform shirt off. If it's going to be really nice, probably take your boots off and just have a dude outside that's going to be giving you tools, or have yourself be inside. And I have a video. You guys can check that out and you can see what I have to do. It's not what the book says to do. You see what I have to do in order to get that twin panel track out. So guys can check that out if you want. Kind of a big deal. It's not you're dealing with a lot of plastics. 6.7. I love working on the 6.7s. They're hard metal plastics. You get used to it, but it's kind of another one. One of those things. Okay. Hey, thanks for taking the time to help me. I appreciate time to chat, brother. No problem. Dave Penny, no problemo. What I'm getting at is it hasn't been long enough. We don't know if the 2020 is more reliable than 2015. It hasn't been out long enough. Oh, I see. I gotcha. I didn't look at it like that. That's true. At least his is built a Skidoo. He did not get adaptive steering. So I don't know if that was really what was just holding yours up. So I'm glad you 86 that. Person in comments on your opinion, I'm going to send you a screenshot via Insta. Really? Let's check this out. Let's see. I just got that right there. Thank you. I really, really appreciate that. Very good, very good. I don't know. I have it's a Mia. I have no idea what the deal was. That's the first for me. The first for me. He just that was unnecessary. Thank you for the heads up though. I really, 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 really appreciate that. Think about getting the 7.3 gas, Mr. Cotton. So far, all I can see is them coming in for maintenance. I haven't had, but just a handful with stupid issues, but nothing major. So if you're not down with, the 6.7, by all means, grab the Godzilla. I know they're out there towing machines. Don't get really too many of those. I had to put a trans in one. That was like a very first 20 with a 7.3 in it. So hey my man, how many bubbly do you drink? Big man A-Rod.
Just look at the trash can behind them.
Yeah, I mean that trash can's full and I emptied it last week. I don't know. Good 4, 5, 6 a day, maybe. I don't know. They're just, when they're cold, they got bite and they crisp. My wife had found these tall boys, but it's like, 2, 3 gulps of these, man. You're cutting the grass or something. I'll hammer down a couple of them things. Bubbly. People who order a truck in 21 and still haven't got it, will it be a 22? That's a good question. I really think that they should have just totally the 21 model year, obviously because of the COVID. What I'm really, I guess I don't know what they're going to do. So all those trucks you guys saw sitting in those racetracks or where was that, Cody?
That was Kentucky.
Kansas or Kentucky?
Kentucky Motor Speedway.
Like those poor trucks. I mean, I know vehicles are supposed to be outside, but I mean, from sitting, you're going to have, I don't want to say bad gas, but gas has been sitting in there, fuel. The brakes, gonna be crazy. Gonna be crazy. Let me see here. They should be, if they want to be moving those trucks, they should be giving everybody a heck of a deal.
What's going to happen is they're going to say, oh, you want a 22? Take 5 of these trucks. That's what's going to happen.
Can I get some of them?
Or they're going to give them away at a really nice discount.
Wow. That's crazy. I can't believe that somebody let me. I don't know. Somebody is going on the channel and commenting on videos. I don't know. You guys can peep it if you want, but these last few videos, that somebody's being malicious here. I don't know what's going on. But yes, Butch Tanner here. Let me go over here really quick.
Mr. Ford Boss Me is listening while he's driving home. He said he'll
Hello.
jump on. He'll jump
Hello.
on.
Okay, I gotta get this one. Let me.
Maybe he's messing with his coolant pressure tester.
Maybe he's messing with his coolant pressure tester. Dude, that was so funny. We've been working all morning, and for whatever reason, we pull up your stuff, and you just start talking about this coolant pressure tester. And then I'm like, I'm gonna text this dude like 3 seconds later. You see the screen. It was awesome. Okay, looking for, here it is.
Truck Nation? No, not tonight. I don't know where they're at.
I was remembering and I could not find the email. Oh my gosh. Give me 1 second here. Okay, I got Butch's pulled up. Lithium gray, David Howell. I like the lithium gray. Your 21's delivered in February. Okay, I'm gonna, Noah Griffin, that's a good question. I want to come back to you. Oh wow, that was way down there. The 7.3s. What up, guys? What up, Fred? Okay, let me go back over here. Thank you for guys for being patient. Okay, so I got Butch's thing pulled up. This is one of our channel members. He'd sent me an email. This is regarding one of his vehicles he owns. And this is a good story. This is a 2012. And let me go back to it here. This is a 2012 F350, and he's got the 6.7 in it. So right after the 11, this guy's got 818,000 miles, 818,000 miles, right behind that million-mile truck. He says it was originally two-wheel drive, but I swapped it to 4x4 with all the electrical to keep it a factory look. I like it. Make sure if you want to add into anything, Mr. Butch, feel free to. I'm here just driving. I'll jump on listening. Excellent, excellent. Forscan. Let's see. So far, this guy's replaced 3 injectors, a turbo and a transmission and oil pan gasket. He did at 809. Injectors were done around 620, turbo at 650. It was deleted at 450. I'm running Tyrant, shift on the fly, with S&B intake, 4-inch straight pipe, runs to 5-inch to 6-inch miter cut stacks. It does have aftermarket coolant filter. My service schedule, this is the biggest thing, is oil changes at 5K with 12 quarts of Rotella T 1540 with a quart of Lucas oil stabilizer. Fuel filters every 10. I like that. And fuel additive any tank. Must have. Ford fuel additive. I keep it by the case. Wow. Wow. I want everybody to get in the comments and I want you to let me know, what are you guys running hot shots, or are you running by the case? Are you running the Ford additive? Now that's something that I was using, but I kind of, I don't know. I kind of was done with that. But I don't know, to each its own. 50K on transmission and diffs. I'm running 3 steering stabilizers on it due to the death wobble. Clean my air filter every oil change. This guy runs Michelin tires. He's had great luck with them. He gets around 100,000 miles out of a set of tires. Holy cow. Has been weatherproof, so it's not rusted out. I use chemical guys. We are going to be talking about that on a video. Use chemical guys along with their leather products interior, which is clean inside and out. Under my bed, I got a trailer in it this spring, but I'm looking to put a North Star Super Duty bed that's color matched to the truck. Very nice. It's going to put a small lift 35s. Says it's the best truck he's ever owned, and it is going to go $1 million. I'm looking right at his cluster right now. It's a dark hunter green with a tan bottom, big old cattle pusher on it. I like it. Good looking truck, brother. Good looking truck. Let's see. He's killing you. He's killing you. Let's see. Let's go down here. Let's see what these guys are saying. Let me go back up before I miss this guy. Haven't done research on Forscan. Where do you get all the info and different things you can turn on and off? If you go, Fred Italian, if you go to, if you go on Google and just type in whatever year your truck is, Ford 21 Super Duty Forscan, it's just going to populate. You'll see everything right there. Wesley Snipes. Man, I haven't talked to this guy in a minute. Wesley Snipes. Wow. Does your dealer use BG products? No. My parts department started sending out BG green premix coolant anytime I need coolant for a 6.7. I don't know if I'd be using it. I'd be
That's
sticking
no
with the
for
yellow.
me.
Hold on. Yeah, tickle my throat. I need some more bubbly. 2 coolants, the yellow concentrated, the yellow pre-diluted, DC13, and whether or not you're going to get distilled water. I'm actually using that today and tomorrow with some jobs that I'm doing for warranty. So I will be definitely using the yellow. Question for the whole chat: what color would you pick, star white or carbonized gray? Probably carbonized gray. Howdy. American truck. Cotton, 1167. Sold 2 months, 5K less than I paid. Wow. Critters, for sure. Bad tires, bad brakes, everything. I'm hoping to get a good deal. I'm on Ford truck, do this for him. No DS, road and reeling. Yeah, I don't know. They could be watching. I sent invites out, but least favorite job to do. Least favorite Noah. Least favorite job to do. Man.
Interior work for me.
Yeah, I mean, I guess interior work.
Interior work sucks, especially after you just got all dirty. I'll pass.
I mean, I can do interior work because I'm clean. I'm a clean guy. Um, I mean,
Wind noise and rattles and vibrations suck.
okay, so like everybody wants me to do their upper oil pans. I don't have a problem with them, but if I had somebody to take the trans out, cool. I just really hate maneuvering all that weight, but I'll do it. You know, I want to do it for you guys. I just like, bring it. Come on. So I guess maybe that's my least favorite job. Hi, Rob. 100,000 miles before coolant change on 6.7? No. Drain and fill. Both. 60K. Oh, Ford. Yeah. Ford boss me. You're killing me. I finally got to it. That's good stuff. I hate the screens in the 22. I hope they had a conversion kit for the 8 because that antimatter, oh my gosh. Oh my God. Oh my God. Nady, Kegman, he's in the house. I'm ready for questions. Trevor, what up, bud? I started as a Ford Diesel tech. I'm just a helper right now. Love watching your channel. Great info. I appreciate that, bud. Interesting. Hot shot. Yes. Archo. Okay. He says he rolled 818 tonight. That's awesome. Make sure I see people busting out hot shots, both DS and I, PTT, DS trucks, both promo codes. Check those out when you guys are at the checkout. Discount code, ding, 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 at Hot Shots, save some green. I have a hissing sound when accelerating. It starts to get louder. The cold side charge air pipe appears to be okay. Well, you must have to leak someplace, whether it's intake or exhaust, or I mean boost side, I should say. Let's see, I can't believe what I saw the other day. An 11 F-150 3.7 with 990. What? No, I have not been able to add that as far as I know, Evan. So I don't that unfortunately that's not really like a add-on thing because there's a lot of modules and stuff that take into play and wiring and software. So unfortunately, unless it's aftermarket, maybe running Ford cetane. Wow, everybody, EGR cooler and transit sucks. Yeah, I know, Dusty. I got my ways of doing it. What's up, Buckwold Nathan? I've got my ins and outs to do those. I know Matt loves upper oil pans. He's the upper oil pan dude. Ryan, Hot Shots, use the code. Frickin' A writes, we're gonna go and switch gears back to this guy's email because he was talking about the coolant and he quickly is reaching his 30K and is going to be switching to yellow. He says he has the vacuum tool, but says that I don't use it for the 6.7, which I don't. I researched a bit and they say to fill both second and degasser and keep the second cap just slightly clipped and degas cap one clipped and loosened. Nah. Yeah, I haven't said or I haven't heard that type of scenario. I appreciate your question and you for reaching out. All I do, so the does it say what year it is? Let me go back here. I don't know if you want to chime in and say what year your truck is, but I don't see it. Regardless,
when I was doing cool flushes, I just opened the petcock and put my adapter hose on the thing and just let her run.
absolutely.
Thing.
The secondary is no big deal. I have a good video showing how to do it on the 11 through 16 and the IllumiDuty. Really no big deal. Hey, no problem, BP. That was the first for me. And I do a drain and fill. So what you're going to do for the primary, drain the coolant, let it till it drains, let it till it stop, close the petcock, go over to the right side of the engine in the back, and you're going to see a metal box, an aluminum metal box sitting up inside the engine. You're going to want to take the most accessible coolant hose that you can see going to that silver block. That's the oil cooler. Be prepared to catch fluid. What I've been telling guys that I've been talking to is get you a tote, a Rubbermaid tote. So about 18 inches tall and maybe 2 feet wide. I use it for coolant and I use it for oil. It slides underneath the truck, slides underneath the trans. You can do the filter and the oil at the same time. If you drop something in it, you're not going to be splashing. It's not going to overfill. You guys aren't going to make a mess. Go get a tote. No bullshit. Go get a tote. You guys will, it'll be just your oil and coolant. I have two, so I can do coolant at one time and oil. So be prepared to catch it. And if you're going to do the drain and fills, depending on if you're going to get concentrated, pre-diluted, I would grab 6 gallons or have enough fluids to make 6 gallons worth of coolant. You should be good to go. Let's see. Richard, I get my Amsoil from 2 guys. I will put the link in the description. I have to look their info up, but Herv and Tom Brown both are gentlemen who've been on the channel. Not Herv, but Tom on a couple of podcasts. I can put their information in and you can reach out to them and see if you can get set up to get some. They got some diesel fuel treatment that I use, currently running their oil, I believe DS is right now. What's the website for Hot Shots? Hotshotsecrets.com. I think just Google Hot Shots and you'll see hotshotsecrets.com, I believe. Did you? Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, check them out. 12 Super Duty. I don't know, CP. I don't know. Let's see here. We got somebody that just chimed in.
So we're gonna start talking about this OTA.
Yep.
I think these guys should know about this before they go buy their 22s.
Yeah.
Especially if they're gonna do that.
Do you guys know what OTA is? Do you guys know what OTA is? All 66 of you guys right now, while you're thinking about what OTA is, hit that thumbs up. OTA. What is OTA? What does that acronym stand for? That stands for over-the-air updates. Over-the-air updates. What would that mean for you? OKC Jeeper just said he learned about it the other day. American Truck Nation, definitely a recal. Over the air, very good. I'm learning about it myself too, and it's going to be really important. come these vehicles and servicing them, and especially, yes, Noah, lots and it's a me. That's very, very correct.
That's a very big possibility.
That's very big. But it's cool, Noah, when you meet good guys, cool people. It's the dudes who are demanding and only are coming here for one answer that I have a problem with. So
Back on track.
OTA is going to be something for pretty much the 22s. 21s and 20s do not have it. 22s are. You could. Brandon Powerstroke says, unplug the modem. You could. You could. Why not, right?
But you lose Ford Pass and your eStart with your phone, your key with your phone, then yeah, I mean.
Okay, so that's a possibility. But let's go to, yeah, unplug your, that's irrelevant on these trucks. Let's go to the workshop manual. And I don't know, I'm not going to be able to. Cody, you want to screen share that?
I can screen share that.
We're going to go to the workshop manual. This is something that we reference every day when we're talking in repairs with these vehicles, because they're constantly evolving and the information is constantly changing. So we have to stay up to date.
Sharing.
And Butch Tanner, you are very correct. This system is how the vehicle is updated over the network, over Wi-Fi, over wireless. And it is going to be done on a rolling basis. You guys,
just like your cell phones.
Yep, just like our cell phones. It's going to be very similar. And it is going to be going through the gateway module. The gateway module on these trucks is actually where we plug into the data link connector. That is its own module. That is how we go between networks, how we go between MS-CAN and HS-CAN. This is the delta where everything comes in. And we connect, and this is how we talk to the truck. The updates can complete in the background, but they can be taking up to 45 minutes to complete, and will disable vehicle function, particularly during the long updates. They call it the more complex updates. These also can be scheduled by the customer. When one of these OTA updates becomes available, it can be scheduled, and the customer is going to be notified through the vehicle display screen or remotely through the Ford Pass app. Pretty heavy. There is absolutely nothing wrong with the Earth's gravitational pull. This is real life, and it is getting more scarier and scarier to operate these trucks, because we're constantly going to be forced to, I remember, having guys come in, I got this letter in the mail, says I got to recall my truck. Oh, okay. Well, we got some reprogramming to do. It's just going to be some software calibration. Oh man, I don't want to do nothing. My truck's been running fine. Okay. There's some people that don't want to reprogram their truck. Well, you're going to be forced to reprogram your truck, and it's going to be kind of out of your hands. I appreciate that, Brandon. Like anything that uses OTA, you should be able to choose auto or manual. Yep. Is there a rule of thumb for plugging in a block heater? David, there's good temps, probably below freezing, where you're going to see the best use out of that block heater.
I mean,
Absolutely.
you only need to plug it in for 3 hours anyways. After that, it's like a waste.
Yeah. What did you say the network is AT&T?
I believe it's
That-
AT&T.
Is that what we use in all of our Ford vehicles is AT&T? You know, I want to say
Believe
that
so.
sounds familiar. I can't remember where maybe it was a training, like a web-based training. I think I remember seeing like a AT&T
I think it's
logo.
in the new OTA, the new OTA training.
Yeah, I still need to take that and familiarize myself because, you know, if this is going to be something that if we're going to have an issue, maybe something didn't complete, you know, we're going to have to realize, oh, maybe the vehicle was trying to, you know, do an over-the-air update and something didn't finish, and this is why we're getting this fault.
I'll think what they can do with it. Eventually, they'll probably phase out VCMs. We'll just connect through the internet.
It's going to be really weird because it almost brings up the risk of cybersecurity and being able to, I mean, does your truck have a firewall? Are you going to need Norton antivirus installed in your vehicle every year? Like, really? Somebody's going to be able to hack into your vehicle or hack into the network that your vehicle is using, and they'll remotely disable your vehicle. How are you going to get around that? I mean, are we prepared? I mean, I'm sure the gentlemen, the men and women in Dearborn have been, I'm assuming, taking this into consideration. I don't know what kind of things we have implemented to keep hackers and malicious people out of our vehicles.
I mean, people's already hacked OBDII, so I mean,
that's true. That's true. Guy says his Wi-Fi through ATT. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, Brandon. I don't know if that's going to be as easy. I don't know. It brings up a lot. It's new uncharted territory. I still have yet to even sit behind a 22 yet. We're all Verizon where I live. Interesting. Maybe if you don't have AT&T, maybe it would be Verizon.
Ford had to go with AT&T for a reason. I mean, must have had pretty good service.
I don't have anything that has AT&T. I don't have any buddies that really have AT&T either. Free Wi-Fi, so I do not choose to keep it. I don't know. I don't know.
You still, I mean, it still has a telecommunication module, and Ford is still going to push. Ford is still going to push the updates to it, and it's still going to take them. So.
Okay, I know. Next time you guys get in your truck, I know mine. It might say it in the morning. I don't know. If you get in your truck and you know, as your thing's booting up and connects to your phone and does all that jazz, look at the thing and it'll say a data connection, a collection active. Da 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 da. You know, updating. You know, your data from your truck or something.
Yeah, it's going to connected vehicle data.
Yeah, same.
And that works no matter what.
Daddy Diesel, one of our founding fathers, Apple got hacked back in March and just now found out, issued an emergency update. They will hack our cars just like our bank cards. That's freaking scary. And then people are talking about these bozos with these RFI clone thingamaroos and somehow getting the signal. I don't know how these guys are doing this. And pretty much copying this so they can get into your truck. And if they have this getting into your truck, theoretically they should be able to drive away. Right? But, and it's no hoax, it's no scam. I'm tired of hearing negativity about it. There's people in the comments right now that currently have it on their vehicle. Check us out, killswitchmeptt@gmail.com. Don't be a victim of theft. Shut them down. That's it. To get the info, you got to hit the email. To get the info, you got to hit the email. There's no video. To get the info, you have to hit the email. There's no phishing scam. I don't want your email. It's how I keep track of every single one of you. It's not that hard. If you want info, email. What's this guy say? Verizon phone, AT&T. I'm home by 21. Sirius XM. Are you guys renewing your Sirius? I let mine expire, and then my wife renewed it. I like it. I use it. Is that key blue? Actually, American Truck Nation. It's one of those. It's one of those like sleeves for your key, and because it's a push button. Well, actually, Kegman Nate, he has the same one, but his is for the blade key. So yeah, you can check them out. They got a bunch of different colors. And one of my customers, it was maybe get one. I put an engine in one of my customers' Shelby's, and he had a carbon fiber one. I was like, whoa, dude, where in the heck did you get that? And that's how it all transpired. But yes, it is blue. Daddy Diesel. Whoa. I don't see why not unless they work with PTT. Word. Oh, it doesn't have Sirius XM. They want 50. There you go, Hugh, right there. I'm telling you, there's testimonial right there. Yeah. Enough said. Wish I could turn it on with Forscan. Haven't been able to figure it out. Yeah, I don't. Oh, you mean adding it to? You should be able to. You should be able to. Oh, he uses iHeart, Spotify. All right, yeah. I feel you. It was a trial. It was like $13 for 6 months or something. Oh, we'll just get you to add on. How much is the exit once you renew? I think it was. My wife will text me. Maybe it was like $30 or something. Yeah, adding it to the menus. Oh, probably don't have the antenna. That's a possibility. I can't say I've ever been asked that. Maybe, I don't know. Where do I get then again? I had the old pushman key, wasn't around long. Carbon? Yeah, it's a key cover. Type in Ford key fob cover, and you'll see. Dude, they had red ones, blue ones, carbon ones with little designs and unicorns, and you'll see all types of stuff. Yeah, I don't know. American Truck Nation. I don't know if Brandon's. I don't remember what year his truck is. Oh, it's in the thumbnail. Oh, it looks like an Luma Duty. Yeah, he might have them. Richard Chupp, there he is. Another no BS, you guys. Factory, slick. Oh, he got the Raptor key. Okay. Key cover was from Amazon. I was updated. My mistake. Key cover was from Amazon. There you go. Yeah, but you might be right. I have both pods, but my radio doesn't have the option. Okay, so then if you go to a Forscan, go to Google, type your truck in Forscan, look at this. You're going to have to look at the spreadsheet for that because I don't know if it's going to be in all of the module configuration. But I remember seeing at the top of the spreadsheet, it was like Sirius XM, AFM. There's something right there. I'm pretty sure you could do it. But then again, I haven't done it, so. Hey man, I hate P204C codes. Hey, me too. Over the air. Gosh. It's a me. Never pay full price for Sirius. I just renewed for, yeah, that's like what ours was. We are going to welcome the man, the lit, the legend,
The coolant pressure tester.
Mr. Coolant Pressure Tester. He's live. He's showing us how to pump up them cooling systems because sometimes we need to check our sprung leak. He's connecting audio. Ford Boss Me. What is up, my man? I need another bubbly. Got it. Daddy Diesel. I put 1,300 miles on my truck in the last 3 days. 2020 Tremor 6.7, 4 dudes and gear, no trailer on Eco. Got 650 miles out of a 34-gallon tank. You guys seen about the same? Damn. Heck yeah. Hervey. Another, this will ever ending of a live chat. Thanks, Hervey. If you go back up in the comments, I believe it was Richard right here, right underneath you. Richard, Hervey. Richard, Hervey, Richard. He wants to get some Amsoil. Hook him up. Ford Boss Me, you're muted. Let me ask you to unmute. There he is.
I'm muted because there's other people.
I'm sorry. Sorry. Muting.
I didn't know if you guys were catching all the feedback from the background.
Oh no, you're good.
Okay.
Yeah, we were just talking about yeah, you heard we were talking about over the air. What about what is your have you thoughts on OTA? Have you heard about OTA?
Yeah, I've heard about it, and when you first brought it up, I was driving and somebody was saying something about, I want to touch on something that's very important first. Somebody said something about unplugging a module, a modem or something like that, so they weren't forced into this. These new systems are built very specifically to where if you think that you can manipulate the system somehow, you better think long and hard about doing that. We've had people when the auto start stop came out and they wanted to try to unplug something or use some kind of specific tool or something like that to bypass it. When they first started doing that, because a technician on the internet had spoke about a customer coming into their dealership, this is how you disable the auto start stop. And they reached down to the bottom of the trailer brake controller underneath the dash and they unplugged the bottom connector. My first customer that came in that followed this technician's advice on the internet came in with, one of my more popular videos. The one touch, the smart touch for the doors quit working. And they were like, something's going on here. And I'm trying to troubleshoot the smart touch. And I start pulling apart the door and everything like that. I get the handle out and I'm looking at the back of the handle. You know how it's got its own like little module or whatever built in circuits and stuff in the back of it. And I can see moisture in there. And I know our F-150s and 250s were having problems with door locks freezing and moisture getting in the doors and stuff like that. So I thought it would be disingenuous for me to put this handle back in here, knowing how sensitive it is with this water and stuff in here. So I'm going to go ahead and replace it because obviously that shouldn't be there. So I put the handle and stuff in the whole assembly, and still I'm getting these, it won't work. I'm getting these codes in the computer for lighting control module B offline, and the electronic touch button in the back for the tailgate not opening on the Super Duties and stuff like that. And I start looking around and I'm like, man, I really cannot figure out what's going on with this thing. Why is this happening? Nothing's a key indication of. I start looking into the circuits and stuff further and seeing where everything feeds back. And it goes all back to that trailer brake module underneath the dash. And I'm like, what in the world is this? I plug the connector and stuff back in. I clear the codes. Everything comes back online. There was like a dozen different codes set just for this one connector not being plugged into this module underneath the dash. Not only was it messing with the touch system on the doors, it was messing with the tailgate opening. It was messing with communication lines. It was saying that there's all this stuff that was going on, all because they followed some YouTube guy that said you could do this to disable the auto start stop. And then I got to thinking about the OTA stuff, and I was like, how many people are going to try to or start bypassing this system where it's going to start taking down other networks, and it's going to start setting all these codes and stuff like that. And then they're going to bring their vehicles into the dealer, and we're going to have to deal with the problem. And we're going to be chasing our tail trying to figure out what people are doing out there to try to bypass all this. You're not going to be able to get away from it. And it's going to take a very, very smart person to go into some kind of programming to manipulate modules and stuff like that, or Forscan in the future when it's available to go in and start turning on and off things. It's a forced hand. I don't like it. I don't think it's a bright idea.
I don't think so either.
Chrysler's had consistent problems with people breaking into their cars, figuring out how to start things, grabbing data and stuff from it. We've had issues for years now with people being able to steal your credit card data and stuff like that from just walking past you from some device or something that they have in their phone if they get close enough. So people have to really wake up and realize that we're starting to move into a technology type advanced society to where everything's going to be almost automatic. It's going to be forced handed. You're not going to be able to do very much about it. Either it's going to be one of those types of systems where you get with the program, or you just don't buy one of the new vehicles. And I don't want to say that because I need people's business. I have to make a paycheck at the end of the week. I have to feed my family. But at the same time, what are you going to do? If you want new vehicles and the new technology and consumers are demanding more and more and more,
you're forced to get this.
You're forced to get it. Manufacturers are out there like, well, how can we cut the cost of updating this or programming that? Well, maybe if we can start doing stuff over the air, I don't have to send a customer into the dealership all the time and pay a technician 0.3, 0.4, 0.3, 0.4, 0.3, 0.4. It seems what we're getting paid nowadays for everything. And
literally,
it saves them a ton of money. It's a forced hand. It's a way for them to save money. And it's a way for them to actually control and keep up with what's going on. And unfortunately, you're part of the puzzle and you have to deal with it.
Yeah. And you're going to go through diagging all these things. Then at the end of the day, you're going to find, oh, they unplugged the TCU, and you're going to hand them a check for 5 hours of labor, and they're going to be pissed.
Right.
Because Ford's not going to pay for that.
Well, and then the customers, they turn on you because they think that you're the one pulling the strong hand card, and it's not that at all. Whenever I went ahead and I fixed this customer's truck, I replaced the handle and stuff like that, and I made a video talking about how important it is to really figure out what's going on with these things before you start playing with them, because you could cause more damage and end up paying us that $500 at the end of it, and you're mad at us. And it was never our fault to begin with. We're only operating within the guidelines of what that manufacturer allows us to operate in. And if it's not their fault, it's not their fault. Unfortunately, you did it. But I was able to cover this because of the damage that was done to the handle with the water and stuff inside it. Ford willingly paid for it. But at the same time, what do you do at that point? Do you incriminate the customer and say in your story, hey, yeah, I replaced the handle because there was water in it, but this dip spit over here decided that he wants to modify all this stuff? They're not going to like that. And then Ford's going to say, well, if you're messing with your vehicle that's under warranty, how about we just take the warranty away from you?
Yeah.
I mean, it's to the point where you're forced into this and there's nothing that you can do about it.
It's going to be kind of, I mean, I don't know how guys are going to act, but you know, a lot of these dudes are spending good money for these trucks or these vehicles, because it's not just going to be these trucks. And you know, when you build these trucks, you have all these options, and you pick this and you pick this, and I don't want this, I want this, this it up, you know, whatever. Everything is going to have this, and you can't. This is one thing you can't choose. You can pick the engine, you can pick the axle, you can pick, I don't want this, that, and the other, all these creature comforts, but you're forced to have this type of technology. Why do we want to have the most current level software? We constantly have to meet emissions. Right. If we're constantly having to meet emissions, there's one driving force behind that requirement. So I think somebody's pushing somebody else, and somebody else is pushing somebody else, and this somebody else has to implement this on all these vehicles because they're being just emissions, forced to.
Safety as well. Because I mean, ABS, RCM, the lane keep, all that. So I mean, it's more than just emissions.
I think that sync probably is going to be a huge driving force in this, and it's going to be sync first, and everything else is going to be following suit. If that everything is going to be communicating with that DLC, that gateway to the MS to the HS CAN, that module, then yeah, we're going to have that ability to update all those modules, and especially with this Gen 4 sync. I have not messed with it. I've sat in a Mach E and just looked at the screen, F-150, but like I haven't really, you know, sat and checked it out, looked at the not ergonomics, but you know, just how everything's working. You know, how your phone with the connectivity and the touchback and how everything's working. Like I haven't got to experience that yet. So I mean, you look at this stuff. Yeah, I bet it is.
All the stuff that's in these screens is. We had a magazine review company that brought a brand new Super Duty power boost to us, and it was before the vehicle was even out. I got to see this vehicle and I got to mess with it before it was actually available full boat to the customer, and they were like, what's going on with this power boost? Like whenever I go to take off, it almost lunges out of this stop. There's no gradual increase like you would normally have with the regular vehicle. And I'm out there looking at the truck, and I pull up this big giant screen and all these options all over the page, and I'm swiping and I'm up and down, and I'm like, what in the hell are they doing to these things now? And then I find in this section called auto hold, and I was like, oh, wait a second. Let me turn this off for a second. I turn it off, and then I can't duplicate the problem anymore. And it was simply a feature that was turned on this vehicle from the factory that they never even messed with. And they were like, I don't want that on. Why is that even an option on a vehicle from the factory? Like when a customer first goes to get into this thing and go to take off, and they're not expecting that, and all of a sudden the vehicle just lunges forward, you have to exceed a certain amount of RPM or throttle in order for it to release the brakes on the thing for you to take off. It's made for like if you're towing something or whatever, it assists with that holding, so your vehicle's not rolling back and things of this nature. And just looking through these screens on all this stuff that's there, I'm like, wow, how many things just in the future, how many things are going to go wrong, man? This is unreal.
Are you going to see this in 10 years?
Well,
I mean, ask yourself, like, I don't know.
It's one of those things that, I mean, I hate to say it, but read the owner's manual.
Right.
And the owner's manual's right on the radio now. It's all electric.
No
so I mean,
way. Is it really?
There's no reason not to read it now. It's literally right on the radio.
Get out of here. They put it in the screen now. Be damned. Wow, see, now that's a money savings. But being on the screen, being so interactive, it's right there in front of your face. Do you think people are going to use that?
No. Not at all. They haven't used it in years.
It's an owner's manual. Rich, have you ever had to look in the owner's manual?
I religiously do, because I'm the one working on the vehicle.
Yeah.
But the customers come in and they don't ever touch it.
I always recommend it. Even whenever I see a new customer buying a truck, I always say, read the owner's manual. Seriously.
Mm-hmm. I'm not being a smart aleck. Really, read the owner's manual. And I remember they should be doing it still, but it's going to be another cost expenditure. They should have a diesel supplement, another little tiny book along with the owner's manual. You'll have a generic Super Duty book that all the Super Duties get, and then if you got the 6.7, you got a little another tiny book that was your 6.7. It was like Power Stroke diesel supplement, and it had everything in there, water and fuel and coolant maintenance, and talking about turbo and glow plugs and all the stuff that's going to be pertinent to that Power Stroke. Like, I feel just having, I forget the owner's manual because I know how to open and close the doors and the windows. This is what I want. And having that in its own little book by itself, this is what I want to try to make is actually, this is one of my thoughts, is if I could have one of these, okay, I like this. You guys could put it in your glove box. If I had a maintenance book, a PTT maintenance book that I could provide to you guys, provide to my community, and it would have your mileage interval. I remember being in the fast lane, and Rich would probably attest to this, in the owner's manual, in the older ones, they would actually have a spot in here where you would put the vehicle. We'd have cars come in. This would be upside down on the dash. We would do the maintenance to it, and they would have in their book, could you please fill this out? It's at 25,000 miles. We'd say what we did, and then we actually had a stamp, and it was like, fast lube or something, and you'd stamp it in the book. It's visual. It's tangible. You're seeing it. You touched it. This stays in your glove box. Oh, hold on. What did I do at 15,000? What did I do at 50,000 miles? Oh yeah, I did coolant. Oh, but I did fuel. This is it. You should have seen the Million Mile guy's truck. His was like a Bible. We still need to get him on the show and talk about him and his regiment. But I think that having that extra supplement in the owner's manual accompanying with that is important. It's important to me.
There's a term to that too, though, that could actually help you. Say you go in to get these services done, and you pull out the pamphlet, you do your service, you write it down, you stamp it, certifying that it's been done.
There it is, right there.
What if something happens where Ford needs a record for something or whatever, and somehow it got misplaced, it didn't save in the computer or whatever it is? All you as the owner have to say is, no, wait a second, Jack. Here's a store number stamped with Quick Lube, and here's the service that was done. And I can't just make that up. A dealer did this. So I have my record here. I'm sorry that it got misplaced on their part, but I've got my proof.
My documentation. And that would even travel with the vehicle, even a selling point for the vehicle. This dude's about to sell his used vehicle. Wow, you got this you kept all of this? Now, when I have sold used vehicles, to try to convey, now these have been, vehicles that I've worked on and maintained and, I've personally owned. So to try to convey to this new person trying to buy this, that there's literally nothing wrong with this. Like it's roadworthy. It's got nothing wrong with it. It's like, people have this used car, I'm going to have to do all, like, you're literally not going to have to do anything. Like, trust me, like, this is what I do for a living. And it, to see that accompanying with the vehicle, I mean, that would be a selling feature for me.
That's a make or break. That's a make or break. It could be a make or break for buying the vehicle, and it could be a make or break for what your asking price is. That could literally either save you thousands or make you eat thousands based on what that vehicle's worth just by having that. I've sold vehicles where I show people, look, here's the alternator receipt, here's the date I did it, here's the oil change, here's all my services, my flushes and stuff like that. And then they're like, you know what? You're asking $7,000 for that? I'm okay with that. Thank you for all the records and everything. Here you go. Or, you know what? It looks like a great vehicle and I'm just taking your word for it. I don't have nothing to go along with it. I'll give you 4 for it. I'm not giving you 7. So
True. I totally get it. It It what's this guy say? This guy says my mechanic writes down all my stuff. Yeah, it's just an important thing to be aware of, especially when you're dropping this much coin on it, and then, you know, being in control of that maintenance, being in control of choosing what's on your truck, being in control of what you're putting in it, what you're feeding it, what you're lubricating it with. But you cannot control when it gets an update. WTF.
Yeah.
Weird. I don't know if you heard us talking about, I had made the comment about cybersecurity.
Mhm.
When's it going to happen?
It's got to happen now. I mean,
When's it going to happen? That's
I mean,
scary to think that somebody could hack into your truck, man.
Unless Ford has already been working on something like this for a while, seeing everybody else's faults, you know, with Chrysler, the credit card information, them being able to manipulate onboard modules as it is, with OBD being the OBD2 being compromised, all these different things that's going on. Maybe they've already thought about this. I mean, I haven't done the training, just like you were saying, you need to get on and do it. I need to do it as well. Things have been just so crazy that I need to get online and actually go through this OTA thing and actually read up on the manual. But just thinking about it overall, it's kind of like the world that we're living in today. A lot of the stuff we're dealing with in our personal lives and stuff that's all over the news, and people being forced and routed to do certain things. Now with our vehicles, we don't even have control of what's going on with that either. It's like a forced hand in it. And it's pretty sad that not only is it transpiring from our personal lives, it's over into our machines that get us from work, from point A to point B, from point A to point Z. And we don't even have control of that. And, you know, you brought up earlier, what if somebody, it was a good point you brought up, and I wish I would have been on when you brought it up. You said, somebody said, what if I don't want this recall done? What if my truck's running fine? And I get posed that question all the time when I'm dealing with cam phaser rattles. Somebody will pop up and say, well, my F-150 is running fine. What if I don't want the 21B10 or the 21N08? Well, you don't have to have it. Now, here's the downfall to that. Say something happens to your truck. You were in the dealer. You refused to let us program anything. You didn't come in to get it done knowing that you had notification. It popped up on your Ford Pass app. So you were notified with all these different things. And then something catastrophic does happen in the future with some kind of failure. And then you turn to Ford and say, well, it's your vehicle. Why don't you fix it? It's still under warranty. And then they're like, no, Jack, it's 1 mile, or it's 1 mile outside of warranty. You had all this opportunity to get this stuff done where we could have built some kind of record of something failing, our programming doing it, maybe the components being bad. But you refuse to do any of this stuff, and now it's out of warranty. The extension's gone. There's no more mileage. I'm sorry. It's not on us anymore. At least you would have had some kind of record of getting the stuff done, regardless if it worked or not. Now, I'm not going to say I agree with everything that they do. I don't have to. But I have to do my job. My job is to notify you that the manufacturer says they're working on this problem, this update or this recall is out. They would prefer it get done while it's in the dealership while you're here if you have time. If you have to reschedule to come back, we can do that as well. But this is what they want done. Now, at any point that you choose not to do that, when you need help, they could always come back and say, you know what? We don't have to help you.
I mean, that also builds up their Ford score for the CRC to help them pay for stuff outside of warranty.
Right.
Too. So, I mean, why not? If you're going to the dealer constantly, your Ford score will be way up, and Ford will help you later on. I got a bunch of customer pay stuff turning into warranty because they call the CRC asking for financial assistance.
Right.
And they got it because they were a regular customer. Maintenance, repairs, everything. Brake jobs.
I think to be that regular, I feel, you know, kind of, it's my opinion, you know, a lot of folks maybe are scared to come to the dealership, whether it was their interaction with their salesman and they just got a bad taste in their mouth, or it was their first service visit, their main point of contact with their service department. Maybe, you know, their intake of their vehicle wasn't as what they expected. Mainly their priorities weren't met. And, it's a big thing to be in the dealership setting and to make sure that, point of contact, the time that the customer was met, the write-up process, there's a whole different, it's not just dropping your vehicle off. Rich knows what I'm talking about. There's an assembly line of things that need to happen before the vehicle gets to us, before the vehicle gets to me. And it's customer service driven. And, the biggest thing that we are trying to overcome right now is friggin' parts. And we have no control over that. So sometimes when you're coming in, it's going to be a minute. I'm telling my customers who are coming to see me, be prepared to have your truck down for a week. I'm sorry I don't have any rental cars, but if it comes in sooner, I will be able to get your vehicle back to you. I need to have time to get myself out of a hole if I need to. But, I think if we could start instilling the confidence back into our customers of being okay to come to the dealer, or being okay to, feel like I want to take what they're saying to me truthfully, that I need to get this done. And these guys, I've heard the term stealerships. I don't like that, because I don't work at a stealership. I'm sorry that you had that unfortunate situation, but not all dealerships have that title. And from what it seems like, Rich's store, my store, we're very reputable. We got high volume in and out, and have a big reach in our immediate area of sales and service. So it takes time, obviously years, to build that reputation, and word of mouth, spreads like a wildfire. It's, hey, where do you get your truck done? Oh, I take it at Bill Brown Fleet. Oh, really? We're driving from an hour away. Oh, wow.
Right.
Customer for life.
We had a lady come in today because of that. She said she had went to another Ford dealer, and anybody that's listening to this or listens to this in the future, if you take anything that I say serious, this is something that you should take very, very serious. You don't get used to always no problem found. You don't get used to always, oh, Ford says this noise is normal. There's nothing wrong with it. You have to show some concern, at least make an attempt to look at the vehicle, make an attempt to see what the customer's concern is, make an attempt to hear them and almost feel what they're feeling when they're explaining the situation, because you drive customers out of the business when you get so used to reading off a piece of paper and saying, oh, that's normal, that's normal, that's normal. Ford says that's normal, that's normal, that's normal. You can misconstrue so many sounds that are explained on a piece of paper for normal, unless you give the customer a few moments of your time to go try to verify what this supposed normal, assuming that this sound is normal. Lady came in and she says, I went to this Ford dealer and I immediately was told, without even looking at the vehicle, the sound I was explaining was normal. And they told her again, and then they were rude with her, and then they were rude with her again, and then they pushed her out the door. Now she's no longer a customer there. Somebody, word of mouth, through seeing my work, said, you need to go to this Ford dealer. They came to our dealership. They realized that we don't operate in that manner at all. We cannot drive business that way and customer loyalty that way and build up a reoccurring customer by having that mindset and using that rhetoric of, I don't want to fix it, or every sound is normal now. And we took care of the customer right away. We listened to her concerns. We were able to verify the sound that she was hearing. We got the vehicle in the shop. We fixed it within a timely manner. It was a couple hours. It took a while to figure out where the sound was coming from, and then realized that it was a heat shield on the exhaust that was just loose. One of the bolts came loose, and they're saying this sound was coming from one of these EcoBoost engines, was normal based on what a TSB was. Instead of actually trying to verify what it was, you drive business out that way. And that's how dealerships start to get bad names. They start to get bad names because they either get used to saying that it's the normal concern and it's really not. They don't try to verify the problem right away. And then there are a lot of bad attitudes in the field right now because we can't get parts. We're taxed to the limit whenever we're getting new vehicles with problems, but we don't have proper TSBs or pinpoint tests to follow things. Customers get super upset with us. They're upset that they're having to wait 6 weeks for cam phasers or 3 months for a long block or a short block for a 6.7. They were upset, and we have to understand what they're going through, but they also have to understand based on our kind communication with them of what the issue is. Don't be scared to tell them in a respectful manner what's going on. It doesn't always have to be hidden. Explain to the customer what the situation is. Don't lie to them, and just be honest.
Don't lie to them. Don't float them around. I cannot stand. Just tell them what the deal is, man.
Yep.
Right.
Oh my God.
Ford doesn't say that the technicians or the dealerships cannot be honest with customers. They obviously don't want you bad-mouthing the company itself. But if you have to explain to them, look, right now we're having a huge problem with parts. I don't know if it's going to be 6 weeks. Projected time is 6 weeks. I hope I can get your motor in by that. I'm going to do whatever I can to make you comfortable within my means. But right now we're having a really, really, really hard time getting things together parts-wise and figuring out the new stuff that's happening. You're going to have to be patient with me. I do apologize. I sympathize with what you're going on. And when you explain things very honest and very upfront without trying to sugarcoat things, they're really understanding. They understand. Absolutely. Right now is a very difficult time.
Absolutely. It makes excuse me, it makes the whole repair. For instance, if you guys go back, that 20EE, the story time by PTT, where I told the story of this truck that came back 5 times on me. Ugh. The whole repair, it was a learning experience. It sucks learning, but you got to do it. It's every day. It's just how Rich and I and Cody get to where we're at. Everybody with all their professions. But the customer was so understanding. Even though he had to bring it back, hey, I get it. I got a bunch of these trucks. I understand it's under warranty. That's why it's coming to you. Was totally, was not ticked. Was awesome. That is the kind of, scenario that you hope for, because yeah, it is an unfortunate situation. I would be ticked off, but I would try to be understanding. But some dudes don't understand, and it's hard to reason with them, because they're just so bent out of shape because their truck's not getting serviced, or I was told this and it's not happening. It's like, well, the guys before you, their parts did, it's like a whole chain of event things, and it's like, how do you can't plan for that, you know what I mean?
And guys need to realize there is light at the end of the tunnel in situations like that. I've seen a lot of guys give up when they get in those situations that you're talking about. They'll give up, they'll get angry about stuff, they'll get so frustrated. That's normal. But just like you, I recently put out a story on my video on a 2019 Edge where the liftgate would just randomly not even open. It wouldn't respond from the fob. It wouldn't respond from the button. Lights and stuff would flash. It would act like it was receiving a signal. It just would not open. The customer had to come back 8 times before I figured out what the problem was. And it could only be left with me for small amounts of time. And eventually what I ended up finding out, well, first of all, let me explain how I took care of the situation. Every day that I worked on the vehicle, every time that I worked on the vehicle, I documented everything very well. If there was nobody to call the customer and talk to them, and eventually by the 3rd time, I was calling the customer directly to update them on exactly what was going on that day. And that I'm sorry, I know you need your vehicle back. It's still drivable. This is the stuff I tried. I explained everything very, very nice and very thorough. The next time you come in, this is where I'm going to be looking. I do apologize. They came in the next time. They came in the next time. And then by the 8th time, something dawned on me. Quit following the pinpoint test. Look at the overall schematic and just start following every single wire and looking at every single connector that's going to this this module, the rear door, and go your own route, because the pinpoint tests are not working. And I started pulling apart connectors, and I started looking at everything. I look in the connector and I was like, what is this? Pin 2 going to the rear trunk gate module is fed by fuse 73, which is the main power fuse that feeds the module that goes to the rear lift gate. And I was like, why does it look like half of the little female curl in pins that put pressure up against the male tab, it's broke off and it's not even there anymore. It's not even touching the pin. And there was enough fretting going on to where it was slowly working away at that metal inside that connector, and it eventually backed away to where there was no connection at all. And I was able to repair the problem, document everything. Ford paid me for all the time that I had involved with this because it was such a ghost problem. But guys get discouraged and they want to back out of it. And the customers see that frustration through them and their stories and how the dealership's dealing with them, and they'll go somewhere else. And once they do that, you've just lost that business. But they were understanding. I explained everything from start to finish on everything I was doing. I was open with them. I communicated with them. They were very appreciative of that. Yes, it was frustrating, but never once did they ever get mad at me or say I'm going to go somewhere else or anything. They were just really happy about that open line of communication on everything that was going on. And that was the key to this whole thing, to get through to the repair and the success of that relationship I have with them now.
Wow. This guy right here, he just comments, Zeekster, good night, man. James Unger says, my 13 Focus with 30K 1,000 miles is sitting waiting for a TCM at the dealer. Been there for 3 months. Can't get the parts. I don't blame the dealership. Not their fault that the supply chain is screwed. 100%.
That's crazy, man.
Unbelievable.
You would think with that being such a common problem that we wouldn't have to deal with what we're dealing with right now, but who has the answer for it?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, nobody can really answer on I mean, I know what the stereotypical answer or the common answer would be here is bring jobs back to the USA. Well, unfortunately, it doesn't work that way. You know, we can't manufacture every single thing here right now in the current state that we're in. And unfortunately, we're at the mercy of whatever's going on. And our trans guy the other day said the same thing. It was a vehicle that it either would not go into park or it would not come out of park. And it was a Focus TCM issue again. And he said, I can't even get a TCM for it. The vehicle's been down in the lot for 2 weeks now. I can't get a TCM.
Wow. That's crazy.
Well, I mean, we are also in semiconductor shortage too.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Something's changing though, because the influx over the last 2 to 3 weeks and the amount of vehicles that are showing up at the dealership, we haven't seen in a long time. Other dealerships had completely bare lots in some cases, or just a few cars here and there. But last week, 6 or 7 Explorers showed up. The week before, 4 Explorers showed up. A guy showed up today with 2 Explorers. And I'm like, what is going on here? Like, all of a sudden, these vehicles are really starting to show up where we weren't getting anything at all.
Interesting.
We
I wonder what
21 or a 22 Super Duty or something like that. One of the guys was driving it today with a new tag in the window. And I was like, where the heck did that thing come from? I didn't see that truck drop that thing off. I mean, normally I see everything, but it was brand new.
I'm waiting to see a 22. For crying out loud.
You sent your buddy to me today. I seen his.
Oh yeah. How did that work out? I was thinking when you were talking, but forgot to ask you.
God, man. It's so weird. He is hearing exactly what he says he's hearing. Whenever you whenever you increase speed, like, you know, you get up to 35 mile an hour, and then all of a sudden start to come slow down. You can do it. You can almost do it with no brake, or you can do it with harsh brake right in the back, where you can be in the bed with your ear to the bottom of the bed. And it sounds like it's at the back of the fuel tank, and where the exhaust kind of goes to the back of the truck and kicks out on an angle. It's concentrated somewhere right in that area. Right before you come to a stop, you'll hear it go. It'll be fluttering. Yeah. It flutters right underneath the rear of the truck, kind of more towards the passenger rear wheel, but in the exhaust and rear of the fuel tank area. It's really wild.
So interesting.
We did all kinds of stuff. Did
he drop it off?
It was crazy, man. No, he didn't drop it off, but yeah, he showed up. I knew he was going to show up. I didn't know exactly what time he was going to show up. They didn't tell me anything. And then when he showed up, we went out, we test drove it. I was able to verify that. I crawled up underneath the truck. Something I didn't quite like that I seen was on the 2022 Super Duty, when I'm laying under the side of it and I'm looking up at the emergency brake cable, the little inserts that the cable runs through, they have little grommets that center the cable.
Mm-hmm.
All those grommets had worked their way out of the centering spot and worked their way down the cable.
Really?
The front one didn't even have a grommet. The second one down underneath the cab, it worked its way probably about a foot and a half, maybe a foot away. And then the one in the back towards the rear of the cab, it was also not even in the hole centering it. So the cable was flopping around inside that like assembly where it kind of routes it. So I took the grommets and I moved them all back inside the snap connect so they wouldn't bounce around inside it. And then I had to go in the shop and I got a piece of like 1/4-inch hose or something. I just grabbed whatever I seen that would, and I slid it down the side and I put it over the cable. And then I had to trim off just a hair more. And then I slid it down and I used it as a centering piece to keep it inside the routing plastic push tab or the quick connect or whatever the hell that thing's called. And that wasn't it. I thought for sure that was it because you could sit there and flick the cable and it would make a fluttering sound like a banjo or like a guitar string or something. And that wasn't it. That didn't fix the problem. So then we got a bunch of bungee straps and he put some fender liners in there. You could flick the bottom of the fender liner and it would make that fluttering sound. So we're like, let's go ahead and hook some straps to the corners of and pull them back around the back of the truck and pull them up and over the receiver and put some pressure on that to keep them pulled up real tight because maybe they're fluttering right before they stop. And that wasn't it either. And I'm banging on the exhaust, trying to see if like just like not banging, but like taps to see if I can get anything coming out of it. It's like, man, I'm getting nothing. And then I go behind the rear wheels and I'm laying and I just took the side of my hand and I just went like that on the caliper. And there's so much slack in those rear calipers on that truck. It's like normally
so much slack.
Yeah, like when you tap the caliper, you can hear it go thunk, 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 thunk. There's no like normally how you have light pad pressure to where you can't just slop it around and move it and make noise. On his truck, you can take the back of the caliper and go tap, 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 and you can hear metal. Like it's like the calipers, they're not how the brake pads normally have just a little bit of pressure on the rotor, just a little bit of a light drag or something enough to take up that slack. But for some reason on his truck in the rear calipers, you can probably grab your fingers and go ding, 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 ding. You can move it. Right.
That is now. If everybody's wondering, this is a 22-350 dually.
Yeah.
So if you're trying to paint the picture in your head, this is what we're talking about.
So he's got an appointment to come back
weird.
in. He's coming back in Wednesday, and I'm probably gonna pull those rear wheels and stuff off of that truck to try to figure out why are those rear calipers that loose like that?
That's not right.
And it's not like they're extremely loose where they're just rattling all over the place. I've never seen a caliper where I can just go without, you just got done driving it, you park it, and then get up under the thing, and you can grab it and move it back and forth and make noise with it.
No.
That doesn't sound right.
No. I can't imagine they changed something to make it do that.
I don't know. I've always had just a little bit of pressure to where at least it keeps everything nice and centered and just real light surface. You have your square cut seals inside your piston or whatever, where it goes to, it'll naturally pull it back to the right point where they're nice and flat around the piston, but it still has enough contact on that rotor to where it's not sloppy. And this one's just real lightly sloppy to where you can actually grab it and just make noise. So you can feel it bouncing back and forth.
How far did he say he had to drive?
How far did we drive, or did
no? How far did he say he had to drive to you?
I think he said it was about an hour drive or just shy of an hour.
Okay,
or something like
that's not too bad. That's not too bad.
No, I mean, he's a great dude. I mean, he's young like us. And,
hell yeah, good guy.
He's real level-headed. He was super understanding about the whole thing. So,
fireman.
He's nice. The last fireman I dealt with wasn't so nice. Luckily, he was. The last fireman I dealt with was he's very brash and very demanding, and he bought a vehicle from another dealer and didn't like the service there, so he brought it to us. And after the third trip and him watching my videos, he was nice once he figured out I was the guy working on his truck by watching the videos. He was like,
That's
"Oh,
cool.
you're that guy?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm that guy." And he was like, "Oh,
Yeah,
I'm sorry, man."
That's
Probably
funny.
because he got that vibe that I was only going to take so much before I was like, you know what, you need to chill, man, relax.
Right. That's
And
funny stuff.
I ended up finding the problem though. I did find the problem. It was his seat. He had somebody else work on it and put a new cushion and stuff in it. And when you have your TED system on the F-150s and like the Super Duties and stuff, you got to have that centering plate, the plastic plate that the TED bolts to underneath the seat. And it has to sit in a certain spot, because if it moves forward or if it moves back, it won't be aligned with the inlet of the seat properly. So when that air comes up through the seat and disperses, it's going to be partially blocked, or it'll just, if it's not sitting up flush with the mount, it'll bleed out. And whoever worked on his seat before, they actually cracked the center insert that goes across it. There's a bar, and it has a like a T20 Torx down the center of it. It keeps the TED centered to it, so it can't walk away. And the TED itself has like a little accordion base, so there is some room for movement as people sit in the seat and come out of the seat. It's really tight. Well, they cracked that bar that goes across it, so the TED couldn't stay centered anymore. So what I did was I just took some like big 150 foot-pound zip ties, like big heavy duty ones, and I pulled the TED to it, and then I strapped everything in different directions to where there was still some movement and it wouldn't walk. And then after that, the guy was like, "So sorry, man. I didn't really. You were the guy working on my truck or whatever." And I was like, "No, I'm cool, man. I understand it can be frustrating, but you got to watch who you take that frustration out on sometimes, because you might meet that one guy that's pretty nice, but eventually he's going to be like, you know what? Get the fuck out of here."
Yeah, right. And I'm the one that's working on your truck, so
right.
You might want to change your tune.
Right. But I hooked him up, and I ate about 2.5 hours of labor because of how many times I had to sit on this truck. And you know what? I'm just glad that I was able to get it working for the guy. I was able to make him happy. And now if he needs anything in the future, he's a super cool dude once he understood everything that was going on and got to see the video of all the stress that was involved. And he's really nice now. So that was my last fireman story. Yeah.
I had one of my coworkers ask me, one of the young and upcoming apprentice kids, he said, how often, because I was working on a wiring repair, he said, how often do you do a wiring overlay? And I said, wiring overlay. Not often. I usually find my problem. I always find my problem. I will do a wiring overlay, but I don't like to do a wiring overlay because I like to try to keep it as congruent, original with how, I don't like to go outside of, if I have to go around a connector or something because of pins, whatever. But, to do a wiring overlay from the back of the vehicle to the front of the vehicle, yeah, I'm going to find my problem before I do that.
I only do it to eliminate the circuit, and it's only temporary.
Absolutely. You can, even using your test leads, those retractable 30-foot things, you just keep pulling out. There's your wiring overlay. It's like you said, temporary, but obviously, come on. I hate electrical, but I love electrical. I hate electrical, but I love electrical, and it's like I'm gonna find that problem because I want to know where it's at.
We had a Super Duty come in where, and this has been a common problem on the Super Duties that a lot of guys overlook. It came from an independent shop, and the guy really trusted him, but it was electrical stuff. The guy, he didn't really want to get into. He tried to find it. The rear camera was crapping out on him. The proximity sensors and stuff, or whatever the hell it was not working back there. Something with the tailgate was messed up. And they brought it to me, and I did a temporarily, just like Cody said, I did a temporarily overlay. And I went to the back and went right up in the frame by the spare tire. Those two main connectors back, or that are the connectors that are back there. Water gets thrown up there all the time. And I ended up finding the problem when undid the connectors, I looked inside and I could see how the corrosion had ate all of the pins inside the connector. There was nothing left. It all turned to powder, and there was nothing left inside there. And this is one of the things that they were having us do with the unexpected tailgate opening, the jumpers that we're putting in, except this truck was more of a basic truck. It had a camera, but it didn't have a power button or something. I don't know what it was. There's something weird about this. And I overlaid them and everything came back online. All the codes went away, camera was working, all this stuff was good. And I gave them the option. I said, look, I can permanently solder all these in here and put nice shrink wrap over everything.
Be done.
Or I can be done and eliminate that connector. And I'll keep everything color coded the exact way Ford has it set up. I have enough wire back here. Somebody will be able to look at this and see exactly the way it's going to match the wiring diagram, or it's going to be pretty damn close to it. Or they can just look at the wire before and after and they'll be fine as well. Or we're going to have to wait 3 days for the male female connectors because we can't get parts. And the guy was like, look, I got to be on the road, man. This is a truck where I'm always hauling stuff. And I used an overlay in that situation that ended up actually turning out to be a permanent repair and eliminating the connector completely. Because lately the corrosion problems that I've been finding on the Super Duty connectors in the rear of the truck, especially guys that are on the road all the time, they go through all, rain and snow and all this other stuff. And it's not like they're just going from the house to work that's 20 miles away or whatever. These guys are on the road working these trucks daily. They're abused. And it's one of the things I see often in the hotshot trucks and a lot of the guys that are heavy car haulers and stuff like that. Those connectors in the back of the Super Duties are so sensitive to all this corrosion and water and stuff being thrown up at them all the time. It's been a huge problem for me lately, but I know where to go right now. I've done so many of them that's exactly where I go, and I find a problem there almost every single time.
Not a big problem, but issue with those lower connectors on the trailer hitch, right side passenger. There's a gray and a black one. What people don't realize is the rear taillights. Rich, what do we have in our rear taillights now?
Are you talking about the smart taillights that have all the LEDs and all that stuff and the proximity stuff and
the Bliss?
Yeah, the Bliss, that's what it's called.
What do you think that uses to talk? MS CAN. MS CAN goes through those connectors. What do you think water does to electricity? Those MS CANs are not supposed to be shorted together. And the situation Rich was talking, he pulls the connectors and it's just powder. Well, you have a loss of communication now, and a truck I had a whole bunch of, you'd take off, the airbag light would be on, you'd take off and it would go away. You come to a light and the truck would do its final and sit down, airbag light would come on. You'd itch forward, the airbag light would go off. And I couldn't figure it out. And it wound up being water in that friggin' connector. And it was shorting out MS CAN and was causing the network to do weird things. So just like he had said, he knows right where to go, because those are big connectors back there. Not big as in size, but big as in it's got important stuff going through it. Trailer, Bliss, MS CAN, proximity sensors, water is not supposed to be in there. I've done it on mine and a few of my customers' trucks. Go to the store, wait for a dry day. Obviously, don't do it when it's wet. Go down and look at those two connectors, unplug them. If you don't have air, unplug them and just dink them right against the frame. Just dink, 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 dink. You'll get, you see all the dust and dirt, fall out. Get you some good electrical contact, dielectric, and put it in the female and just keep smearing it in. Squeeze, smooth it out, put another little drop of dew, smear it into the hole, and then those pins are now going to be packed with dielectric grease so that connection, even though it's got a rubber gasket on there, water still got in. But if we had some barrier around the pins, we'd have
I love our grease, our XG12. I love that stuff.
Yep. Absolutely.
It's expensive, but it's worth it, man. It it's money.
What I like to do is I'll cut the tip real, a hole real small on a diagonal, and I'll just use, I'll grab it just like this and take the connector and, just go like this and use that instead of my finger to smear it into the holes.
And it pushes it right in.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really good stuff. I've showed it to you guys when I was doing a BCM repair or something I was doing, and I was showing you guys XG12. Definitely good stuff.
My buddy brought his Super Duty out to me, and I did that repair. I did what you just said. I filled that connector full of XG12, both connectors in the rear. And then when I was done, I took a real heavy spray of what the hell is that stuff called from DuPont? Is it DuPont or 3M? But it's the thicker, more rubberized undercoating, not the cheap stuff. And I unclipped it from the frame, and I actually took it and held it away. I put a cloth on both ends so I wasn't covering everything. And I coated the top and bottom of those connectors there. And I just left it away from the truck so air could get in there and dry. And I sealed those two connectors up. And I told them, hey, look, if you ever have to go back in there, you could just take a pick or a razor blade and just trace around your seam and around your connector and just peel the rubber back. And then push your tabs in, you could pull it right apart and then put it back and just quickly spritz it real quick if you ever have to do anything.
Oh, yeah.
And it sealed them up completely.
Oh, yeah. That's a good idea. I mean, you'd barely be weatherproof then. You know what I mean?
Right.
Shit.
Seal that sucker up.
Well, everybody, I want to thank everybody who watched this evening, everybody who'd interact. Awesome comments. New member, we appreciate you. Where you at? K&J, thank you. If anybody has any things that they'd like to share, maybe shoot me an email. I had a couple of guys shoot us email talking about their truck, just their endeavors, 818,000 miles. So that's something to talk about. That's pretty sweet on a 6.7. So make sure to check us out on the mainstream podcast apps. Reeling with Ryan has been gracious enough to upload those for everybody on those apps. And if you want to book an appointment with either me or Ford Boss Me, reach out to his social media, check out his channel, check out Cody's channel. We're doing great things trying to promote positivity and getting away from the pollution on YouTube. Thanks so much for watching, everybody, and we'll catch you later.